Hello, everyone. Say anything to anybody?
Hello.
California was not a slave state.
No, it wasn't. It absolutely was not. It was on the. It
So,
sided with the North.
so what the hell are they thinking?
That's a good point.
But
That's a great.
Gavin Newsom, surprisingly,
He turned it
threw it
down. Did
away. He vetoed it. Yeah.
I saw it. I saw it, and I actually I was like, wow, I was surprised. Gavin Newsom, gruesome Newsom, but I applauded him for that. I literally applauded him. I was like,
Well, you know why he did?
no, I don't.
Because he's going to run for president.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
you think anybody who runs for president, if they voted for that, did they get a vote from
Well,
normal people?
let me put it this way. When I said no, I was being facetious. I'm sure, being a politician, I'm sure there was something behind it. So I didn't know he was running for president, by the way.
Well, he hasn't announced it, but
He has
that's
aspirations or
that's the
something.
golden boy for the Democrats.
It is. Oh
For
my
the
God.
Democrats, not for
Yeah.
the country, for the
No,
Democrats.
no,
Who
I
else
get.
is there?
Well, other than Big
Well,
Joe,
the guy they should be embracing is RFK, but you know that they're never going to, the establishment is probably going to try to kill him, not embrace him.
oh yeah, yeah.
You know, the nice thing about
Oh, yeah.
RFK, RFK crosses parties,
Uh,
Republicans, Democrats, independents, anybody who actually thinks with the brain, they're going to
I
say, let's go with RFK. He's the the most moderate person of them all. And that's what we have now. We have in this country an extreme this side, an extreme that side. And nobody can work together.
uh, totally agree. I remember vividly back in the '80s when we were young, very young guys. The Democrats, Tip O'Neill, remember all
Yeah.
those cats?
Yeah. Tip O'Neill would work with
Speaker of the
Reagan.
House. Yep. The Democrats and the Republicans always, even, and they had bitter debates back then. They didn't always get along and sing kumbaya. They duked it out at times, but they always made the effort. Both sides, I applaud them for this. They always came across the aisle, right? And to work, ultimately at the end of the day for a common ground and a solution and do the will of the people. So they always did. Even if they duked it out, they found common ground. And that's what they're supposed to do. They're not supposed to galvanize and go into each other's different corner and say, I'm not going to listen. I'm not going to listen like a child, right? No, you're supposed to find common ground, okay? And for the will of the people and the country, um, come up with the best solution possible. That's what you were friggin' sent to Washington for, not the other crap. Okay. And so it's real simple, look at our results. Are we getting good results? I don't think so. I don't think you need to be a genius to understand that we're not getting good results and that this method clearly, this polarization method, whatever you want to call it, it's not working, guys. It's not working. And they should all be friggin' fired. Okay.
Well, they're all bought and paid for now. That's the problem.
I get it. I'm just, making a diatribe commentary. They're not going to get fired and whatever. I get it. I'm just saying, it's like, who you working for, guys?
Well, if you go to any country or any state and you go to the capital
Yeah.
and it is the most powerful place, the most expensive property, you know, where everything seems to be happening, you know you're failing because government is never a productive activity. Never. You're guaranteed a loss through government. It's a minus efficiency. They could take a dollar and they could give Rob Peter and pay Paul, and you're talking 50 cents, maybe 25 cents. And the rest gets churned up in inefficiencies. So obviously, I'm sure they count that as GDP, but it's not efficiency, it's not productivity.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's interesting you make that comment. I wonder if they do include it in the GDP numbers. They probably
Of course
do.
they do.
Yeah. Okay. So
You
I'm
don't,
sure.
you don't think all those, you don't think those 87,000 IRS agents getting paid, $150,000 in full benefits aren't being counted as GDP?
My cynical answer would be absolutely. My logical answer would be, what are they doing at the end of the day in terms of producing an actual product or service? It's more administrative in nature, right? There's really no. It's
Well, it's kind
administrative.
of like how making hamburgers is now considered manufacturing.
Exactly. I mean, it's just erroneous. It's
So
erroneous.
it's back to statistics. It's back to lies, damned lies, and statistics.
Well, yeah, it's into
And they
fudging.
can tell any story they want by fudging the numbers.
Yeah, I mean, you're fudging statistics. I mean, we know that
Even prostitution now, I think, is part of the GDP.
No, it isn't. Is it? You're kidding me.
Yeah, like there are certain illegal activities now that are counted as, like the IRS. Like if you do an illegal activity, the IRS doesn't care as long as you pay your taxes on you report the illegal activity as income.
You're kidding me. Well, yeah, I believe it because their job is to just collect income on services and or products produced. Yeah, that I believe. So, it's not their purview to enforce the law, right? It's just to collect the associated taxes with the generated revenue, right?
Yeah, and
I mean, it's sort of twisted, I guess, right? Kind of,
yeah.
Yeah. Just pay your taxes. It doesn't matter if you were, exactly busting the law.
Well, we pay our taxes. Probably the richest of the rich don't. Corporations don't.
Right, but it's in the tax code. It's all legal that they don't, right? They use
I
all the.
understand that, but that's what I'm saying is it just drives home how much of a joke it is, because that's why we are a debtor nation, because we just spend way more than we can collect. And that's why everybody goes along with the game, because I don't think people understand, when the merry-go-round, you've seen those videos where people like use a motorcycle to like get a merry-go-round going like 60 miles an hour and the people are hanging on to it.
I haven't seen that, but I hear what you're saying.
And then they try to stop it and the guy goes, whee!
Yeah, it's too much momentum. Yeah. Too much force and inertia. Yeah.
That's what's going to happen here. And that's why so many people are going to get hurt. I mean, a lot of people are going to literally die because the change is going to be so drastic. They're not going to be able to adjust and adapt.
Totally. I don't argue. I mean, these guys are effing up.
What are all these boomers we have a lot of elderly people, and that's another transition in our country. They're all dying, especially after the jab.